The BOOcast synth of the month is the Roland Promars MRS2 Compuphonic. It's 1979. Bjorn Borg has just won Wimbledon for the 4th time. I'm in a Spider-Man t-shirt and I'm emptying a packet of delicious orange space dust into my face. And there is, up to now, no such thing as a programmable monophonic synthesizer. Last year, Roland released the Compuphonic Jupiter 4, a programmable 4-voice synth that was to be the genesis of a much venerated range of polys, which are coveted to this day. But this year, Roland will introduce Jupiter's monophonic sister, visually and sonically similar to the Jupiter 4, programmable, and the only monophonic Compuphonic synth Roland ever made. Until recently, the Promars has been relatively ignored, but now available as software on the Roland Cloud, anyone can play one. 1979 is the year of the Promars. Oh, Roland, you were so great, weren't you? Oh, look at this baby. So this isn't mine, this is Simon Forsyth's. Thank you, Simon. We've been looking after it for a while now, and I've got a feeling you're going to come and get it soon, so I thought I'd better have a little play. Hey, so here it is. It's a... Shut up you. Let's just turn that all off. So yeah, it's a monophonic synthesizer. It's compuphonic because it has presets and everything within this parameter range here that's got programmable written on it. And inside it, it's got a little tiny processor chip. And somebody told me which processor chip it was once, and I've completely forgotten, but it's one of those early ones. So we're talking ZX Spectrum, maybe even less impressive than that. ZX81. Oh, you know, that kind of thing. So early computer land here. So let's have a little look. So let's go straight to the oscillators, the dual VCO. Dual VCO? Well, this is odd, isn't it? Because look, there's only controls for one oscillator. Let's listen to the saw. And we've got a range of 3 ranges there, and keyboard transpose. We also have off, which is useful as a waveform, I always find. You can turn it off. Brilliant. It's quite noisy there. We've got a square. Lovely. And a pulse, which has 4 pulse settings here. So we go 1. So that's the square. And that's the thin. Quite interestingly, in a lot of places where you might usually find sliders on a non-programmable synth, you'll find switches. I've got a theory about that. I'll tell you about it in a bit. We can do pulse width modulation by clicking that down to mod, and it comes from the LFO. And the depth is in 4 stages again. That's the deepest it goes. So as you can hear, it sort of... it thickens the sound up nicely. And we've got a sub-oscillator here. Again, no level control, just switch it on or switch it off. And yeah, that's nice and beefy. It says dual VCO though. What's going on? Where's the other VCO? What's going on? Where can it be? Where can it be? And just about the last place you'd expect it to be is here. There it is. I'll just turn one on. Let's bring it up a bit. So, second VCO's over here. And we can tune it with these 2 tiny knobs right here. So as you can see, VCO2 has no wave selector or pitch selector or anything. It's just got this tuning control. And in fact, that's all it does. It just follows VCO1, and you can add an interval or some detuning with it. to thicken it up. Oddly, there's a flicky switch here which goes between one tuning knob and the other. And this is very unusual. I have no idea what they were thinking. I guess it gives you... I don't know, you could play a melody in the background like that. But yeah, it's very odd. I think a lot of these design decisions have been made because of the basicness of the programmability inside. So we've got switches which only take one bit of data, it's either on or off, and we've got 4-stage select on the pulse width, which means there's less data being recorded. I believe it's an 8-bit chip inside, and so I think someone told me 6 bits are used to record the position of the sliders, and the other 2 bits are used to record the position of the switches, something like that. Anyway, basically it's a very sort of, you know, early days of programmable synthesizers, and it's like they've made some decisions here so that you can get the compu memory to work. So yeah, there we go. Interesting. So let's have a, actually, while we're on this subject, let's have a look at some of the presets. So let's have a look at bass. Pretty good. String. Nice. Now, try as you might, you can't change these presets because all the bits in blue become disabled and are rerouted through the presets or the compu memory. You can't touch the filter either. But what you can do is we've got some extra controls over here which allow us to have a bit of a fiddle. So we've got a brilliance knob, which is in effect a kind of cut-off knob. Let's go back to the bass. So yeah, although it's programmed to be where it is and it gives us no control over it, we can do a bit of... Yeah, we can control the filter from here. We've also got portamento. I don't think there's any key control of the portamento. I think it's... yeah, it's just off or on. And the LFO section, which continues to work apart from... this part isn't programmable, but this part is, I think. Or is that's got blue around it. Ooh. We'll find out, I suppose. So anyway, there we go. It's interesting, isn't it? They've... funky clavy. Well funky. Piano. The keyboard is bottom note priority. Yeah, there's a piano. Voice. Ah, that's interesting. It took a minute to change. Voice. Pretty good. Trombone. Bet that's never been played on a synth demo before. So as you can hear, all of these presets are utterly indistinguishable from the real thing. Synth 1. Haha, that sounds like a synth, doesn't it? See what else we got. So those are the presets. There are some already in here, so let's... So yeah, so all of those within the programmable parameters here get disconnected when you use any of these memories. We go back to manual, and we're back in the world of... So the filter, yes, well, the filter is a classic Roland filter from the late 70s. I believe it's the same exact circuit as is on the SH7. But to be perfectly honest, they all sound pretty good. This reminds me very much, in fact, it visually reminds me, but also sounds like the filter on the SH1. Let's just go through that. So you can hear that, listen, it's stepping. Which is it's because it's, I think, okay, don't shoot me if I'm wrong, but I think it's because it's been stepped so that the individual steps can be read by the processor and it can be recorded as a preset, so it's very subtle. That isn't harmonics, that's going up in steps. I mean, you wouldn't notice, and obviously if you apply envelope modulation to it, there are no steps because you're getting the actual movement from the envelope. Like that, that's fine. But yeah, just an interesting thing, yeah? Keyboard follows from 0 up to, I guess, is full. Let's just see, we'll turn the envelope mod off. Turn the oscillators off. So as you can hear, it perfectly follows the keyboard when it's on full. Bring in quite difficult to tune the filter. Might resort to using the envelope mod. That's stepped as well. So it's actually quite difficult to get this to go if you wanted to use the filter as another oscillator tone. It's in tune there. Let's put interesting. But yeah, I'll stop with the complaints now because it's a really nice filter, as you can hear. It's a lovely filter. We've also got a high pass, which, if I'm right, is a 6 dB single pole. Very useful. And there's an envelope for the filter and a separate envelope for the VCA. And the envelope for the filter works inversed as well, so we can do that. And it sounds really nice. It's one of those fizzy, rubbery, very precise, very great Roland filters from the late 70s. And these are, yeah, before the advent of the SH101 and the MC202 and those ones, they actually use a different chip to produce the filter. But these are using more discrete components. So there are chips involved, but we're talking individual op amps and OTAs and things like that, all electronic jargon that I don't really understand. So they're built in a much more organic fashion, and they do change from model to model because as they gradually improved the designs of these filters. So yeah. But this is like, you know, we're talking early period before they were sort of standardized. Let's have a look at the LFO now. So way over here. So we've got the LFOs here. We've got selection of waveforms. We've got sine, square, ramp, and I guess that's sawtooth, inverse ramp. It's upside down. Let's apply that to the filter. So there's the saw, or the ramp, there's the saw, there's the square, and there's the sine. Now that doesn't seem to go very fast, does it? However, over here we have something called LFO bend, and someone called Norm is at the top there. So we've got what looks like normal LFO speed now, and we can adjust it with this, and it gives you a slight variation of the LFO speed. But as you can see, this is LFO/bend, so we're going down to here. So we can adjust the amount of LFO going to, for example, the pitch, and that's controlled by this knob, which tells you how much. We've got delay time here as well. Let's speed it up a bit. The delay time gives you a delay before the LFO kicks in. We can put in a bit of extra VCO or extra VCF. But interestingly, we can also take it off. So if I bend it this way and we've got LFO VCF selected, we can remove the preset amount of LFO going to the filter as well. And we can also apply that to the VCA. And we can use the bend. Let's leave Norm alone here for a second and go to wide and see what that does. So very slow there now. Go as fast as we can. But with wide selected, we can faster. And there we go. This is one of the best things about this synth, is this audio rate LFO. It's delicious. It works alongside the envelope mod as well, so you can get... And we can tune the oscillators. And it's beautifully clangy. It just sounds great. You get all kinds of lovely, so obviously I'll bring up... change the waveform. Obviously we can get different effects with different waveforms. Masses of distortion and stuff coming out of it now. Oh. And as we bring up the resonance, we get more effect from that. See, that's the LFO, so capable of massive audio rates. And also with this bend feature here, where we can add and take away the already selected amounts of modulation going on. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So already it sounds really warm and huge. Let's bring this. Let's go low again. Oh, we are low. We can increase warmth levels with this slider at the end, which just says level, with a reassuring red overload LED here. Let's see if we can get it to light up. Yep, it's lighting up. this synth was used by countless people in the 80s, and I will not bother trying to count them because I've, forgotten, and I'm not using Wikipedia. It's not a political stance, you understand. I simply just don't want to open a computer today. Although I'm obviously inevitably going to have to do that when I come to edit this. Here, there we go. That's life. Turn it off. So that's the Promars Compuphonic by Roland. Their only compuphonic mono synth, and the monophonic sibling of the Jupiter 4, with a lot of the sounds and qualities of the Jupiter 4. Thank you for watching.